Just take my heart when you go. Baby, take my heart. I don't have the need for it anymore. I always loved you, but you're too hard to hold. Just take my heart. Baby, just take my heart when you go.
This is Jeff with Shout Out Minnesota, and we are here with
Eric Martin from the band Mr. Big. You know, the handsome one that stands right in between Billy Sheehan, Paul Gilbert, and Pat Torpey. Yeah, I mean, we're sitting down right now, but I am gigantic. I am Mr. Big.
All right. We're here at St. Croix Casinos in Turtle Lake. We have an acoustic show tonight.
Yeah.
One of a series, Platinum Unplugged series here. And want to talk a little bit about you. I want to get a little background on you. I like to find out how you got started in the music.
Well, I started out, my father was a drummer for a kind of a famous 1940s swing band called the Four Aces. They were like four singers, and he was in the background band. And I was a drummer first, you know, got the hand-me-down drums, and they were a little too hard to carry up 2-3 flights of stairs in some of those bands I was in. And I decided to kind of pursue singing. My mother sang. It kind of comes natural for my brother and two sisters as well. And I lived in Europe. My dad was in the Army, and I played in a bunch of bands there. Kind of more like soulful bands. I mean, my influences were Otis Redding and Sam Cooke and Jackie Robinson. Not Jackie Robinson, Jackie DeShannon. One of the Jackies. Jackie Wilson. Jackie Robinson. Jackie Wilson. Lonely teardrops. But then we moved to the United States, San Francisco Bay Area, and that's when I kind of discovered Zeppelin and the British invasion of rock and roll. I mean, I'm a big admirer of Paul Rogers. I mean, what lead singer in my field hasn't probably said, you know, Paul Rogers is God, but he's right up there on the top of the list. I played in a bunch of bands, and I was in a band called Kid Courage from San Francisco that our first weeks of gigs were opening to like some major acts, and one of them was AC/DC. It's their first American tour. We played 2 nights with them, and that kind of said, you know, the voice inside my head said, yeah, this is it. I don't want any more jobs, and I want to pursue this, you know, full time. So years and years later, I mean, I was signed to Capitol Records as a solo artist, managed by Herbie Herber, who managed Journey. So for years, you know, I wrote songs with Neil Schon, and did all the demos and stuff with Jonathan Cain, and you know, the whole San Francisco scene was at my disposal. You know, I mean, I worked with everybody there and played all the clubs and stadiums and all that stuff even before being signed. But signed to Capitol Records, and then got the attention of Billy Sheehan, bass player extraordinaire, best bass player in the history of rock and roll as far as I'm concerned. He gave me a call, and the both of us started Mr. Big. And we started in 1989, made our first album, and toured forever, opening to bands like Rush, and, Aerosmith, and all that. But then in 1992, we had an album called Lean Into It that had a bunch of songs on it, and you know, a lot of singles came out, but one in particular was a song that I had written when I was younger, about 17 years old, a song called To Be With You. And it was, you know, it's one of those things where that song was played in the United States like a smash or trash kind of situation, yeah? Mm-hmm. Whereas, like, you know, people call up and they go, I hate it, or, you know, smash or trash. And it was a smash. It spread like wildfire, and it became #1 in the United States. And unbeknownst to me, it was #1 in like 15 other countries. So to this day, it's the gift that keeps on giving. You know, my children are set. My wife skips out to the mailbox.
It's true. Break the twist of both of you. So come on, baby, come on over. Let me be the one to show you I'm the one who brought to be
Everybody
with you.
connects with their fans if they're smart. If they're stupid, they don't. You know, and they're like, you know, painting houses. But anyway, we had a great connection with them, and they just kind of kept the torch held high. There's a smattering of fans around the world. I mean, we definitely have a European, you know, gang, and there's so many in the United States. But you know how radio kind of dictates what you got to hear and how you dress and all that kind of stuff. In Japan, it's a free-for-all. It's a free-for-all. They play everything, and they love classic rock. And bands like from my ilk, you know, like the heritage bands from the 80s and 90s.
Okay.
Keep it alive. And I mean, you know, like there's a famous magazine called Burn Magazine that's kind of like their Rolling Stone meets People kind of magazine. And, you know, Richie Blackmore's on the cover, you know, every month, you know, practically. But they just keep the dream alive, you know. And I love my European brothers and sisters and my American brothers and sisters, but, you know, they maybe, you know, like, long story short, you know how like the big shakeup, the big earthquake shakeup of the 90s, you know, when all the Seattle thing came in and all that stuff. I mean, a lot of bands just kind of gave up, you know, and like I said, painting houses. That used to be like the job to do, you know, for a rocker and roll.
Crossroad, try to flag a ride. I'm down to the crossroad, baby. Try to flag a ride. Nobody seems to know me. Everybody passes me by.